Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a difficult one for me. I got elected in 2010, and in all the time since then, I have never taken the floor against Louisiana Family Forum and Louisiana Right to Life. I have nothing but the utmost respect for what they do in this state to protect the unborn. This is not an abortion issue. And quite frankly, what they have done with this bill is create a red herring where none exists. They've created a fiction about confidentiality and anonymity of the birth parents, which was never the rule, it was never the reason that the 1977 bill was passed. It was never passed to protect the anonymity of the birth parents. That was not the basis of the bill. The basis of the bill at that time was to protect the adopted kid and the adopted parents, not the birth parents. That fiction did not exist. It didn't exist in 1977. It certainly doesn't exist now, where 23andMe and Ancestry can tell you in 6 weeks if you spit into a cup who your birth parents are. All you have to have is a second cousin of the birth parents who filed for the registry, and you can find them like that. There is no expectation of anonymity. It does not exist. Now, granted, it might have existed in 1980. It might have, but it doesn't exist now. This bill is not about abortion. It is not about anonymity and protecting the rights of the birth parents. It's about your vital record. It's about Representative Owen's vital record. His name is on a birth certificate out there that he can't see. Think about that. It's his. It's got his name on it, but he can't see it because the state says you can't. Now, this amendment, while creating another government bureaucracy, which as a conservative I'm against, the opening up the vital records I'm against, the creating this registry and contacting spending state money to call people and say, oh, by the way, you had a baby in 1982, do you want us to tell anybody about it? Who wants to have that conversation? If we're trying to avoid the unwanted reunion, that cat left the bag when 23andMe went online. That unwanted reunion is there for anybody that wants to spit into a cup and mail it off with $100 or whatever it costs. And look, I have a very close friend and family member who is adopted, and he has adopted a child. They love Representative Owen's bill and they oppose the amendment. He does not care who his birth parents are. He doesn't care. But he's not going to contact them. But he would like, he's no interest in contacting them, but he would like to know who they were for medical purposes or for other things, which goes back to the law as it exists now. If you have money and can hire a lawyer, you can get your birth certificate now. All you have to do is show compelling reasons. The only people who can't access it now are the people who can't hire a lawyer, don't have access. This bill, right now, compelling reasons, the bar is very low, and I've talked to 0 people who hired a lawyer, petitioned the state, trying to get their original birth certificate, who were denied. 0. I've also been contacted by 0 birth mothers who didn't want this bill to pass. Now, Family Forum and Right to Life likes to say, they're out there, they just don't want to contact you. I would love to be able to come up and say, I know nobody's giving you an email against my bill, but I promise, for my bill, but everybody's in favor of it. Just take my word for it. That's not the way it works. If nobody has contacted you, they're probably not out there. I know you've been contacted by the ladies in the back, and you've been contacted by the people for this bill. This amendment, with all due respect to Representative Miller, wherever he is, and the Family Forum and Right to Life, this amendment guts the bill. It guts the purpose the bill was brought. You can't create a registry and go find people. I mean, adoption was done in 1980. You have to go find them. If they're dead, who's going to look up and see if they're dead? We're going to create a government bureaucracy. We're going to have paid government workers tracking down birth parents. Come on. If you want it, you should be able to write a letter. You should be able to get it. That's it. And look, I'm going to close with this. This was passed in 1977. Back then, if you can rewind back then, the #1 pro-life legislator in this body was Woody Jenkins. He carried every pro-life bill. He voted against the 1977 amendment, which closed this. It's not, and by the way, he favors this bill without the amendment. This is not going to enhance or increase abortion if we close this, or excuse me, if we open this up. Anybody right now going forward knows that 23andMe and Ancestry are there. They know if they bring that child into this world, they can spit into a cup and their name will be known. They know that. That is a red herring created to oppose this bill. Why? I have no idea. I encourage you to ask them. I'm sure they have a good reason, but it is not about preventing abortion, and it is not about any promise of confidentiality or anonymity that was not made at the time. That was never the reason for the bill, and quite frankly, it doesn't exist now. When 23andMe and Ancestry went online, all of that confidentiality is gone. What this is about, and this amendment seeks to prevent, is for people like Representative Owen to be able to write a letter and get that piece of paper that is their own vital record with their name on it. Government should not block your access to your own vital records. Now, please join me in preventing and killing this amendment. Thank you.